In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man, Edmond Obilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Daganan kilo betening kom lo moham. Di beta maso sanalom. Muasa benge kabuto.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo.
Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Every age of pain ends when ordinary men and women deploy the light of thought. Economic hardship is not just in the market. It is in the mind that accepts poverty as destiny. Politics that retards development is not only in the palaces of power, it survives in citizens who surrender their will. Do not surrender. Build schools of the Spirit in your homes. Read, question, organize. Let the farmer know the weight of his vote. Let the student see knowledge as a weapon. Let the trader demand fairness, not favor. Rise above the easy anger. Refuse the politics of stomach and tribe. The word belongs to those who think, those who plan, those who work together. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. The radio man is here. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. That is the theme of this class, the class of history, politics, and power. Your voice stands out in this show. Your voice echoes from the depth of our pain. But in the rhythm of your voice, I see the harmonics that sings the beautiful songs of the future. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. I would like to hear your voice. 070694 930 00 070 694 93000. You can also call the radio station on 070 144 75770. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Radio Man.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Lawrence from Unit 2. You see, just like you said, when you redeem the mind, you redeem the land. I've realized that when you read, you will be dumbfounded by the magnitude of your ignorance. My position has always been this. When we understand our history, it will help us to understand how we handle the present and have alternative solutions in handling the future also. So it's always good to read. So because I've really gained a lot by reading myself, I've really developed myself. Just like the American business philosopher Simon said, he said, schooling we hand with a living, but personal development we hand with fortune. So I really align with you. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you. Let the farmer know the weight of his vote. Let the farmer know the weight of his vote. Let the student see knowledge as a weapon. Let the trader demand fairness, not favor. The lines are open. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
This is Mr. Ben.
You're breaking. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Are you hearing me clearly, sir?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Now, I had a very bad
All right. Let's take that call off. Thank you. Rise above the easy anger. Rise above the easy anger. Rise above the easy anger. Do not surrender. Build schools of the Spirit in your homes. Good morning.
good morning, Mr. Edmond.
I can hear you.
This is Mr. Benson.
Okay. That line is not clear. Just keep trying. 07014475770. You can leave your message on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. Let's listen to Dr. Akin Onigbinde, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We talk about the mind. Build schools of the Spirit in your homes. Read, question, organize. Rise above the easy anger. Dr. Akin Onigbinde. just mentioned the mind. It reminds me of Churchill's statement that the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. For you to build a great state, you must first dream it. And to dream it is a function of the mind. Is that not so?
Absolutely so. Absolutely. You can't be more correct. The realities that we confront, whether negative or first, exist in the mind of people. Even people that commit crime. A lot of times, it's when they lie down on their bed that they try to figure out. And those people, that think of great progress for society, for themselves, it all starts, from their minds. Therefore, even the scripture teaches us that we should guard our mind with all diligence, because out of it proceeds all the issues of life. Mind is an extremely powerful, gift of God that enables us to envision, to translate our physical abilities, our physical resources in the world into what becomes, of benefit, to all of us. Empires of the future indeed are empires of the mind.
That means you are telling us that if we want to build a great future, we must build a system that advances the minds of the people. A system that is so robust that the mind begins to think creatively.
I like to add that, as a matter of fact, no society, no individual can accomplish more than his mind can conceive. Whatever it is that an individual wants to accomplish, whatever it is that a society wants achieved, must be through the instrumentality of the mind. If Nigeria wants to rival all the countries of the world in science, in technology, and mathematics, it goes to our educational system. We cannot compete with countries that take education very seriously when we even shut down schools for festivals, when we don't give books, to our children to read, when our school system is so expensive that it is only those people, that have money that can attend those. The countries, that make progress are those that are committed, both in terms of what they say and what they do, to the development and the cultivation of the human intellect.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Every age of pain ends when ordinary men and women deploy the light of thought. Economic hardship is not just in the market, it is in the mind that accepts poverty as destiny. Politics that retard development is not only in the palaces of power, it survives in citizens who surrender their will. Do not surrender. The lines are open. Say hello to the radio, man. Are you leaving your message for me already on X? Let me see. Engage this thought as we redeem our minds. Break it down. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Edmond.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Benson.
All right, Mr. Benson.
Yes, thank you for that. Most Nigerians are ready to redeem their mind but the forces going them down are too enormous to be contented with. Let me give you the experience I had last week. Are you hearing me, sir?
Go ahead.
Yes, on my way from Sabah to Mara, ordinarily, that journey wouldn't have taken more than 2 hours, but it took me 6 hours to accomplish that journey. What was running through my mind that these are expired rules we have in Nigeria, and yet we have governments going and coming without taking care of people. Where is our mindset that the simplest thing, social amenities that the government is supposed to provide, they are not providing it? And yet you have every resources, diplomat, oil, and so many other materials to do this thing, but the government is not doing it. Then at times, when you even want to liberate your mind, you discover that you are being weighed down by the circumstances surrounding you. Thank you.
Thank you. Those who are weighed down by circumstances surrounding them are not ready to redeem their minds. Those who redeem their minds are those who rise above the circumstances surrounding them, and they elevate themselves to their dream place. By such, their brains and their hands begin to work towards the direction of their mind. They become innovative, try ideas to survive. Those who redeem their mind are those who rise above the circumstances that presently holds them down. Redeem your mind. The ball is in your court. Hello, good morning. Call the radio station. Let me know what you think. It is your class. Break it down. Let me take you into this. A nation is more than soil and borders. A nation is an idea made visible. Laws, bridges, skyscrapers are only the outer walls. The true engine of the nation lies unseen in the minds of its people. Before a state can advance, the minds within it must first awaken, for the mind is the furnace where progress is forged. Are you here? Let's engage. The lines are open. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Make your point.
You say?
Make your point. All right.
Good morning, good morning. I'm ready.
I can hear you.
You are calling for where?
Okay. Laws, bridges, and skyscrapers are only the outer walls. The true engine of the state lies unseen in the minds of its people. Before a state can advance, the minds within it must first awaken, for the mind is the furnace where progress is forged. Are you there? 07069493000 07014475770. Okay, are you listening from somewhere outside Nigeria? I'll give you the opportunity of a WhatsApp call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Edmund.
Good morning.
Sibola, we're talking.
Yeah, Baba is here.
What to put in our mind is psychological. And I will appeal to the minds of Nigerians to have positive thinking, to think well for Nigeria. If our thinkings our thoughts are positive, if our thoughts are well for Nigeria, it will be well for Nigeria. A lot of people don't think well of Nigeria in their mind. And that is what has caused a lot of problems for Nigeria today. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Chief Bolariwa, for calling. Thank you. So if you're listening outside Nigeria, okay, Shala, let's speak that. You can call me on WhatsApp, just for those outside the country. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. All right, Shala, let's let that guy go. So if you're listening from outside the country, I'll give you the opportunity to call me on WhatsApp. That is 080 18449. That's my WhatsApp number. It is not the studio number. That is my WhatsApp number. So you can call that WhatsApp number if you are outside the country. I know it's easier for you to call in on WhatsApp. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Beautiful Nubia sings. He talks about the human spirit. If you opened this book, you would encounter the power of words. These are his songs. Back to Come is one of the songs here. Well, he says, the earth is spinning on its axis, and the sun is beaming bright at noon. The rain has fallen in due season, and I'm happy for those whose stocks are rising. You see, the road I work is not easy. I halt in places no one can see. Where do you halt?
Oh yeah, places no one can see.
Can I see it?
No one can see them one day.
Why?
And this applies to all of us. We all carry our silent scars and our hurts, People cannot see them. And if we choose to sing about them, if we choose to expose them, or we don't bring what hurts us. We do not bring our inefficiencies into this to inflict pain on society. We seek to resolve them within. We find a way to resolve them. And we can use music, we can use words, we can use other things to resolve. I find a lot of our people, a lot of the leaders we have, and that's why I understand them, that they use the pain they have, the lack that they have in their personalities, the hurts that they carry inside, they use that to inflict pain on others. And so when people understand that, they will stop hating those they are looking at as all these people who have destroyed us. If you understand that a lot of things go back to people's childhoods, and if you have a bad leader, go and check about his childhood. If you see a man who cannot love, who cannot care for his own people, who cannot do things that will benefit his people, you go and check how he grew up. You will find that this is somebody who needs help. Not for you to be angry with them, it's for you to understand it and then say, in our time, we will try to do differently, we'll try to do better.
Are you saying many members of our political class need help?
They need help.
How do we help them?
By first letting them realize that this is where the problem is. Because many of them don't seem to understand, they don't realize it. Many adults who are hurting and who have brought their childhood abuse, the childhood traumas, and they've brought them now to reflect on their adult life. And you see it everywhere. You see it in schools, you see it in business, you see it in music, you see it in sports, you see it in all kinds of industries. Any industry you can think about, you see that. In politics, you will see it. In governance in Nigeria, you will see it. People whose early childhood was actually spoilt by certain experiences that many of them have buried. And that's why when they've grown up now, you see them, they're not capable of loving people, of caring for people, of doing things that will benefit their society. Because you ask yourself, if somebody is in this position of power, why should he be happy to see people suffering like this? But you see, something is wrong somewhere. Something was wrong in their upbringing. Those who have been brought up well, those who have been fed love from early childhood, they will do better things for their societies. So we need to understand these people. We need to understand and then tell ourselves, not to judge them, not to castigate them, but tell ourselves that we should learn to do better, that we should raise our children properly now, because these are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. If you feed them love, if you teach them all the right principles of truth and hard work and honesty and humility and courage and perseverance and contentment, if you teach our children that, we create a generation that is thinking like that, this country will be. That's why I believe this country is going to change. Things are going to change. All over Africa, we're going to see change. It seems like a dream now, but yeah, we talked about dreams already. Dreams do come true.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Omotayo Olurotimi Onobamiro is on X. He says, before nations rise, the rising starts in the minds of the people first. I noticed something about Nigeria, he says. The people discuss very irrelevant issues. If it is not Wike today, it's about Fubara the next day. That's a message from Omotayo Olurotimi Onobamiro. Fasai is on X. He says good morning, that he is in class. Big Pedro. Okay, I have a caller here on. Let me pick his call. Hello.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
How are you, sir? Hope you are fine.
Good.
God bless you. Even though I have exams today, but I thank God that I did not miss this program. I'm Adeshola Sunday Olumide. You know me. You know me very well. We are friends. We chat on WhatsApp. This morning, how I wish everybody in Nigeria, most especially youths, can listen to today's edition of this program. I was moved. My spirit is moved. Like I'm a core member. Let me define my own definition of education. Education is not only an instrument of social change or personal gain, but it's viewed as an investment in national development. If we can all see it like that, do you know where Nigeria gets it wrong? Is our education system. Our education system, if we can invest in it, in fact, we will see returns. All those European countries, all those Americans, men who build America, they are university students. But we need to change our mindset. Our parents, we were told a lie when we were younger than this, that you are going to school to make it, you are going to school to become wealthy, to be this, to make mommies proud. But that is not it. That's African mentality, African parents' mentality. The essence, the reason why we go to school is for national development. Look at your environment. What can you do? What impact can you give back to your environment? The school you go to, the course you study, how can it impact our environment? Whereas it's going to make our environment beautiful. Just like a definition in architecture, I study surveying and geoinformatics. I'm currently studying architecture. We shape our environment. So our environment is going to shape us back. All those European countries, they are not rich. They do not even have the money. They do not have the resources that we have. But our minds. I'm a present serving corps member in Nigeria. I was posted to a ministry, but I dropped a reposting letter that I wish to serve in secondary school. And I think my reposting letter work. I will take it to the school on Monday, because I want to change the mindset of all those youths, of all those students. They are not going to school to, some of them. That was the reason. The definition we give to academics to give the school makes Africans, Nigeria, see education as a scam. Hence, we are going to say education is a scam because it's not giving us money. We are not going to school to make money, to have money, to be rich, but we are going to school to impact our environment, to change our community, to change Nigeria as a whole, in short, for national development. So that's why we see students going to Yahoos, going to internet fraudsters, just to see money. When they say school na scam, there is no work. We are going to school for national development. That's the essence of why we go to school. We need to change our mindset right from primary school, secondary school, university.
Thank you.
I'm coming up with a program by God's grace, December. Okay, we'll talk better, sir. We'll talk better, sir. So we need to change our mindset. In Nigeria, we need to change our mindset. The general mindset needs to be changed.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy for this program. God bless you. God bless that Bidi. We'll talk better. Don't worry. I have ideas. When I come to Ibadan, I'll make sure I meet you.
All
by
right.
God's grace. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. He's my WhatsApp friend. He will chat me and chat me and chat me. He will write and write. Okay. We've never met, but he's my WhatsApp friend. Hey, good morning. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Stay tuned.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Start your day and have a good.
The soap making industry in Ipapo seems to be one of the critical identities of Ipapo as a place. Every homestead has its own methodology of going about the soap making in Ipapo, but it's still cottage industries. It's still at subsistence level. It's at the lowest rung of the value chain. The soap making industry in Ipapo seems to be one of the critical identities of Ipapo as a place. Every homestead has its own methodology of going about the soap making in Ipapo, but it's still cottage industries. It's still at subsistence level. It's at the lowest rung of the value chain. The methodology, the know-how, the identity, the technology is still there. In my view, there is an opportunity, a great opportunity for this to rise further up the value chain, which is the thrust of the kind of intervention we're trying to make with our foundation and the National Youth Service Corps members and volunteers that are working with us on this project. The industry of our women and their economic importance to the livelihood of families, to training children and helping the community grow, for the longest time, I believe, has been underemphasized, has been understated. Our women are not indolent. They are hardworking. I mean, if you go to the length and breadth of the southwest of Nigeria and southeast as well, you find them industrious, hardworking, dedicated, breadwinners, I dare say, in the society. So the thinking that women are sitting at home, warming the bench, to be given handouts is a fallacy that has gone for too long. A research of this nature will find, let me give an example. We were valuing the naira worth of a tray that one of the women our team worked with was selling. And that old tray was going to about 50,000 naira, sold in a day. If 50 to 70,000 naira is sold in a day, multiply that by 10, okay? Suddenly that woman is no longer the poor peasant that we thought she was. But The challenge is the packaging, the branding, the identity, those other things that will add value to it to make it acceptable on a global market, on a global scale. Refining the technology, like a conversation with the KBSC would have shown that while they are using their legs to thread in the process, a machine could be done to thread from the white oil to the black oil, consolidating it to take it further up the value chain from cottage industry to, a small soap making factory. And from that further down is what needs to be done. But that the women are involved, the women are active in industry, and the women are critical to the economic success story of a place like Ipapo, as you find across the length and breadth of Africa. Oshe Dudu is the identity of Ipapo. Interestingly, together with our Ori, which is shea butter, and we also have our variant of Gari. So when I'm not throwing shades at Ijebu Gari and Egba Gari, but we have our own Ipapo Gari as well. But the focus here is our Oshe Dudu. Yes, Oshe Dudu is the identity of Ipapo to the world that can distinguish us and is on the journey, particularly with this opportunity you've given us, Edmond, to be documented to the world. What we're trying to do at the Beulah Day Foundation, working with Ipapo and the National Youth Service Corps members working with us on the project and the volunteers, is that by the time we had the branding, we had the funding for them to upscale, so from subsistence level to cottage industry. By the time we helped them with the identity, because Oshe Dudu is organic. Where we are talking about sustainability, we're talking about an eco-aid.
Because he was in charge of physical education, so he was secretary.
He was huge.
Not huge. He was just an army officer. About my height and build. That's Dimka. About my height and build.
What was his personality like?
It was okay. I mean, he was just a typical army officer, a junior officer who was in charge of physical training. And because he was in charge of physical training, I took him to Madrid and another naval officer.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
For you?
Absolutely.
But you have written a book, What Britain Did to Nigeria, and your latest book is The Forgotten Era. Is that a story of the military?
No, it's not, because The Forgotten Era is about pre-colonial Nigeria. So, and I'll put pre-colonial Nigeria in inverted commas. This is before the British came, so there was no Nigeria. There was no military.
At the end of the day, Vatsa was sentenced to death. The poet was eventually executed. Before the execution, 3 great Nigerian writers visited Ibrahim Babangida to commute the sentences. Did Babangida really promise them that he was going to do something about it?
The death sentences were passed the convictions were in February 1986. And the following month, just before the executions were due to be carried out, the Association of Nigerian Authors appealed for clemency, and 3 great authors, you not named them, but it was Chinua Achebe, John Pepper Clark, and Wole Soyinka, personally visited Babangida to appeal for clemency and for the death sentences to be commuted. Now, they themselves believed that they had convinced Babangida to commute the sentences, and Babangida had told them, according to their accounts, that he would do his best.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And even after emerging, some still felt that they could still pull a last minute to stop him from becoming the president. And they indeed made the attempt. The election in Osun was the last election before the presidential election.
Are you saying they used Osun to go against Asiwaju?
Of course, it was deliberate. Otherwise, how will you explain a government that was in power and all the federal government apparatus, including security operations, became hostile to the APC in Osun?
Ismail Mikbidon,
sir,
are you saying that Buhari supported Adeleke in the 2022 gubernatorial election in Osun?
I wouldn't say Buhari as an individual, but the men around Buhari who were calling the shots.
Adegbeshola was one of them?
He was one of them.
He worked against Oyetola?
Clearly, because his foot soldiers voted against, apart from voting against him, worked against him. The incumbent governor confirmed publicly that he got support from Adegbeshola's men.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Years later, or decades later, Rawlings went somewhere to speak to students. Actually, I'm not sure were these students from Nigeria? I may be mistaken, but why do I think they were from Nigeria? Anyhow, he told them there was a general called Odafe Wellington. And he went around saying that I did this, that, and the other. So we sprayed him like mosquitoes. Can you imagine? If people knew who he really was, I don't think they'll be hailing him as a hero. Though I don't blame those outside Ghana because the news is filtered. But for those in Ghana, they have absolutely no excuse but cowardice, and their own selfish interests prevent them from saying it exactly as it is.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. A nation is more than the soil and borders. It is an idea made visible. Laws, bridges, and skyscrapers are only the outer walls. The true engine of the state lies unseen in the minds of its people. Before a state can advance, the minds within it must first awaken, for the mind is the furnace where progress is forged. History's great leaps began not with the armies, but with the power of the mind, the power of thought. The Renaissance erupted when Europeans rediscovered the power of inquiry, betting science and art that reshaped the world. Hey! In West Africa, the scholars of Timbuktu turned the desert into a university city where astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy flowed like water centuries before modern Europe imagined such learning. Nations rise when minds dare to imagine beyond the horizon. Nations rise when minds dare to imagine beyond the horizon. Economic growth without mental growth is a fragile illusion. Economic growth without mental growth is a fragile illusion. The lines are open. Engage these words. Engage these thoughts. 070 694 930 070 694 930 00 or 070 144 757 70 070 144 757 70. Call the radio station. Good morning.
Good morning, the radio man.
I greet you.
It is a pleasure. I'm Adekola Adegoke by name. I really want to commend your efforts to actually open our mind and expand our worldview in analyzing what a race state should be. And we need people like you in the state. But the African setting and the trajectory of leadership, it's not all about the people that hold the office, but what about the mindset of the people? The people. Without the people, there won't be a leader. You cannot have a leader without a follower. So we need to reorientate our mindset in such a way that will project Africa as the center of civilization. And without this, there's nothing we can do. But I really commend you and I love your effort. Thank you for the great work. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Akintayo Oladeji says, thank you, Radio Man. You are touching a very vital point. The day I got the clear understanding of as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, was the day I intentionally feed my mind, same way I eat. I read books like my life depends on it. Most of our people don't read, he says. That message is from Akintayo Oladeji. Edith Omojo Makinde says, the foundation of a child is key to his or her future. Parents have a lot to do in building a child's mindset. That message is from Edith Makinde on X. Bayo Olauti Job on X says no country can experience true progress without first awakening the inner strength, value, and determination of its people. He says national greatness begins with individuals. National greatness begins with individuals' transformation. That message is from Olauti Adebayo Job. All right. Olauti Adebayo Job. Thank you. I can see a message from Azuka Ndidi. Azuka Ndidi says, by fostering a mindset that values progress and innovation, nations can unlock potentials and achieve sustainable development. This is only possible through the education system. Azuka Ndidi, thank you for joining the discourse. Are you there? Mastermind, thank you for reposting the stream. Mastermind. Mind is the master. Keep the messages coming. Big Pedro says, good morning, Radio Man. Nice topic. I think one of the many things messing up our mind in this part of the world is our value system. Those who redeem their mind are those who are able to redeem the value system. Nothing holds them back. They redeem it and create new ways. Redeem your mind and redeem the land. The lines are open. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Edmond. This is Victor Atta calling.
You see, we can't hear you. We are struggling to hear you.
Victor Atta calling.
Okay, Victor.
Yeah. So I think the issue of rising of nations is a natural phenomenon to me. How do I mean? Because if you look at the history, there are some countries that rose up and maybe later come down. It depends on the value. Like this European country you are talking about now, the founders of those countries like America, the kind of value they pass across to their people then is what they are enjoying now. I think maybe later on, this nation will also come down. Maybe we are hoping that Africa one day will also be the nation that will rise up among the continent that will rise up. So that's my contribution this morning. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Those who redeem the land are those who come out with some ideas. You know what you call the big idea that everybody is now running after started in the mind of one person. Somebody just thought and say, let's have a kind of government known as democracy. They began to work on it. They began to draft it. They began to structure it. The empires of the states are the empires of the mind. Those who redeem the land rise above every obstacle to create a new dawn. Redeem your mind and redeem the land. The lines are open. Good morning.
Good morning.
The name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaduna. My name is Adeshola Ayobe.
The ball is in your court.
Thank you, Radio Man. Edmond Obilo, I must appreciate you and the good work you and your team are doing. Educating the mind. Sometimes the debate is about the egg and the chicken. Which one comes first? But I like to go with the fact that everything rises and falls with leadership. The people, the populace, cannot of their own chart a course except you have visionary leaders who have their minds redeemed, as you mentioned earlier, who have a clear thought pattern that is at least fairly good to embrace every part of their town or city or country, as it were. Examples abound around the world. Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. We still rely on leadership to chart the course. Some of the lessons I've taken from your classes is that even what we call history in Nigeria is not unitary. They are debated. Alabi Isama has his own explanation. Obasanjo has his own. Other authors has their own. When are we going to come together and agree that this is what really happened? I'm a student of social science to the point of masters. It is in your class that I learned that what we call Oka's coup is not Oka's coup. He only made the announcement. So these things rise and fall with leaders. When you have somebody like Buhari who wanted to kick out history, instead of unifying or harmonizing what our history is, even if it is painful, but let us agree on what is true, and from there we can do. So the education must start with the leadership class. If we have leaders who are going to believe the truth and now evolve something. And I think that was what Jonathan tried to do with the confab. If we have where the leadership class comes together and agree on the truth of where we've gotten it wrong, the ugly path, and now chart a course, we can now formulate an educational system that will help us build the future. Thank you very much, but I still want your work to go around the nation. Let it meet leaders. Before some of these leaders die, Edmond, if you can try to bring them together, let them come and harmonize the truth about this country and let us document it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Adewale Okunola, I can see you on Splash FM Facebook page. Good morning to you. Uyewo Shola Simeon, I greet you. Uyewo says, as individuals grow and improve, their collective efforts can drive positive change and uplift the nation as a whole. Thank you, Uyewo, for that message. I love it. Oluwatosin, Oluwatayo, I can see you here. Good morning. Tokbe Omotunde, how are you? Tokbe Omotunde. I hope it's not the Omotunde of this guy. What's his name? You're doing well. What's his name again? The comedian. Macaroni. Now everybody they crack your head since. Lift your mind. Yes. You know his daughter is Omotunde. Yeah, Macaroni's daughter. That's always bringing different men home. You know. So I'm asking, hope that's not that Omotunde. Danjuma Ali, so happy to be in class this morning. Danjuma, how are you? I'm happy to read your message, Danjuma. Adebayo Timilein, good morning to you. Jimo Taufik, thank you. He said, I love the comment of your WhatsApp friend. That's Jimo Taufik. Adedokun Adekunle Blessing, good morning, I can see you here. Come to class and call your friend. You know, I remember then, we used to sing in primary school. Boys and girls, come to school. 7:45 is the hour of school. 7:45 in the morning. Yeah, I will be marching to class. As we're singing, we're marching. Boys and girls, come to class. 7:45 is the hour of school. 7:45 in the morning. I can still see myself walking into class. Yeah, I had the law primary school in Benin. I can still see myself. I can still see my teachers. Life is a beautiful place. Lift your mind and lift the nation. That Nigeria is poor is because of the collective poor mindset of her people. That Nigeria is poor is because of the collective poor mindset of its people. Nations rise when minds dare to imagine beyond the horizon. Economic growth without mental growth is a fragile illusion. A country may export oil, harvest minerals, and sign trade deals, yet remain stagnant if its citizens do not innovate, question, and create. Technology, governance, even culture, these are first conceived in the silent workshop of the mind. To neglect the intellect is to starve the state. Are you there? Babafemi Ojudu is the author of The Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist. Let Ojudu take us into one of his adventures to refresh our minds. It's about the state. Abacha, at some point when you were at Concord,
Yes.
you guys wanted to do a profile.
Yes.
On Abacha.
On Abacha.
He was then the chief of army staff.
Yes. I was actually sent to Kano to go and investigate his family background.
And you had to abandon that story.
Yes, because a call came from the publisher.
Abiola was the publisher.
I think when I began to talk to some members of his family, I think they told him that there is a journalist in Kano who is rummaging around for information about you. And he then put a call to Abiola to stop us. And Abiola called and said, look, you guys, Abacha is different from Babangida. He will kill you people. He didn't even know that he will be the one to kill him too. He will kill you people. Back off from Abacha. You can abuse Babangida till tomorrow. The man may not do anything to you. But Abacha, please, if you want to be alive, stay off him.
Abiola said that.
Abiola said that, yeah. That was how we backed off from that story, yeah.
And Abacha would later kill him. You said,
yes, he will.
Did Abacha kill him?
Well, I mean, if Abacha had released him from prison and installed him as the president because he won that election, he probably wouldn't have died in that place. Yeah, but that kept him in prison and in isolation. And then, what happened to him happened to him.
Was it Baba Okoya that said something?
Not Okoya. What's his name now? It wasn't Okoya. It's
I will get that page.
Ojora,
yeah.
Ojora. I think what we were looking for fund.
Yes.
When we're looking for fund to set up the magazine, myself, Bayo Nonoga, Shekende, we went to his Ikoyi home. He's a jolly good fellow. Brought out champagne and we drank and started talking and all of that. So, well, I'm going to help you. I'll call my son, who's your contemporary, to look at your business plan and see how we can assist. And eventually, Begi Ojora, who is late now, provided 500,000 naira at that time as the family's contribution to the business. He just said, we now went back talking about our experiences with Abiola and said, the man wants to be president now. Young man, we know those who were president yesterday. We know those who are president today. We know those who will be president tomorrow. It's not one. It's not there.
It's not one of them.
It's not one of them.
He saw the future.
I think, yes, he saw the future. He's a member of the elite class.
Abiola was a member of the elite class.
No, Abiola was not. Abiola was different. That was why Abiola refused to live in Ikoyi and she used to live in Ikeja. He had contempt for the Ikoyi people. Abiola wanted to be seen as a man of the people. Rambunctious, charismatic, ready to sit down with the poor and eat with the poor and discuss with them, traveling everywhere around the country. It was clearly different. And the real elite don't seem to like that. If you have to belong, you must fully belong. You must ignore people like us and ignore everything that make you look like a populist.
And Abiola wasn't that character.
No, Abiola was, a former musician, former band boy, he's full of native wisdom, dropping Yoruba proverbs, at every step, engaging with women of different class and, it was clearly not your Ikoyi kind of elite. As Fela will refer to them, Ikoyi, Koya, and one way. That was Fela's the way he said, look, they are living among the dead in the cemetery. They don't have life. I think, Fela and MKO has the same, contempt for the elites of Nigeria. Forget about the fact that he was wealthy, that he had friends at the high echelon of society, but they had contempt.
How come he didn't know that the elite didn't want him? Or he felt he would confront them?
He felt that he would outsmart them. He felt he would outsmart them. And he outsmarted them.
He outsmarted them?
He outsmarted them, yes.
But there was this core elite from the north, perhaps, that didn't want him.
I don't think it was only from the north. There was a core elite across the country that knew that Abiola becoming the president could upset a lot of things. They also believe that from my encounters here and there later, that transition was not meant to be. You know, Abiola coming to contest with the man from Kano, what's his name now? Tofa was just a stopgap, you know. And as the man himself later told us, I gave the account of that in the visit we made to Babangida. I said when he decided that Abiola and to enter into the race, and his friend realized that, you know, maybe he didn't mean it at that. Say, you have taken a risk. With Tofa, you could kick his butt and you go and sit down. But Abiola, the moment Abiola get on the field and found that it's loved by the people, you can't ask him to stop again, and he will not stop.
He didn't stop.
You know. So
it was a struggle for him.
Well, no, it wasn't a struggle. I mean, when you go to Kano and you are more popular than the Kano man, you know, and you go to Enugu, you are very popular there. You go to every nook and corner of the country, people accepted you and they are welcoming to you. Then who then can say that it's bigger than you?
He was IBB's friend.
They were friends, yeah.
He was a contractor to the military.
He was, yes. It's like dining with the devil.
Did he see them as devil?
No, he didn't see them. He see that as opportunity.
As opportunity?
Yes.
And he grabbed the opportunity.
And that's the way of dealers. He was a dealer.
He was a dealer.
That's the way of dealers, yes.
And when the Femi Ojudus, the Bayo, Nonugas began to write story against IBB.
I'll tell you about that. It's a double-edged sword. You know, we met an African Concord that was comatose. You know, now we began to push in all those stories, sweet stories and radical stories. We became the darling of Ganifa Emi, Chief Justice Akinola Aguda, Femi Falana. All the radicals in Nigeria were finding space, and people were loving Concord, African Concord. So wherever Abiola goes to, you know, they hailed him for allowing freedom of the press, for allowing people to have a voice, and for, you know, being a great man and that kind of. So he enjoyed that. And then when he gets to the midst of his friends, these your boys are attacking us, you know. So he tried to find a balance, which was very difficult for him until, you know, they had to, you know, take tanks to the office and seal it up. And I rushed to the court to challenge them at that time.
You went to Ghani?
Oh, yes, I went to Ghani. I said, look, these military guys do not have the right to shut down our office. We have the right under the United Nations Human Rights Act to publish, to inform and be informed. Ghani said, are you serious? This young man said, I'm very serious. Let them do their work. I must go to court.
You didn't tell Abiola before going
to
Ghani?
No, I didn't tell Abiola. He then called his men. Said, come and see Femi. I don't want you coming back here tomorrow that you have been persuaded to withdraw this case. Chief, take it from me. On my words of honor, I would rather die than, you know, not go ahead with this legal case. I said, okay, fine. Go and prepare the case. We'll go to court tomorrow and file. So we filed the case against Babangida and the military authorities. And the following day, everywhere was agog with the story. Femi Ojuda has gone to sue the military. So he called me to his house. Oh my, I've never been that abused in my life.
Abiola called you?
Yeah, he said I should come and see him. At that time, I was chairman of the Concord Chapel of
NUJ.
NUJ, you know, and you know, well loved because of the way I handled the affairs of the NUJ at that time. They said, "Who is your father in this town? Have you ever done any business before? You went and abused my friend, and he sealed all this place. We are trying to unravel this whole problem. You have gone to court again." I said, look, Chief, I didn't go to court on your name. You know, I go to court on my own personal recognition as a free Nigerian, free African, free citizen of the world who has the right to inform and be informed. Said, get out of my house. And I turned back and I left.
While I was reading the book, I kept picturing that scene.
Yeah, I was just a tiny boy at that time. I didn't have all this flesh on my body. You know, I had nothing. I can tell you that at that time, yes, he had given me a car, a Peugeot 504 car, you know, that I could drive around. That was, you know, my first car in life. Give it to me by him.
At some point, you and Bayo Ononuga had to go and meet him.
Yes, and try to persuade us to, you guys are good writers. Just do a paragraph, apologize to Babangida and say that you have made a mistake. We didn't mean I said, look at this man, he thinks he's wise. You want to send us to jail. So, okay, we'll go and do that if that's what you want. If that is what will make them reopen this business. Because it was not just African Concord. We have National Concord, Sunday Concord, Weekend Concord, Amana, all kinds of publications were there. And then there was a huge bakery, the biggest bakery in Nigeria, was in that premises at that time. So another businesses and equipment for his other businesses. So they sealed the entire place up. So we left. And now we're going. I told Bayo, I'm not writing anything. I'm resigning. And I said, okay. He will resign too. So we just got to the office, drafted our letter of resignation, took it back to his house and dropped it at the gate with the gate man and fled. We went back to our office and packed our things and left.
And that was it with Concord?
That was it with Africa Concord, yes.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
The food. We are in Ado, Hawaii.
So we are at the foot of Okado Mountain, rock as the case may be. This is the foot. So from here we'll be heading to the top. What's our mission? We want to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. That's why we're here. So this is the foot of the rock. We are relaxed. So we are saving energy because the work up the rocks will take more than an hour. So you need to be strong, exercise yourself, getting ready, and up we go soon. So welcome to Okado Hills, Okado Mountain, Okado Rocks. We are going to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. Come with us. Up we go. The journey begins now. Yes, our tour guide is ahead of me. You can see him from Oyo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He's taking us up. This is the first gate, the gate into the rocks. We have different rocks here, and Iyake Lake is at the top of one of the rocks. Let's go.
The place has over 200 steps. It has over 200 steps.
300 steps?
Yes. And in fact, we have about 16 sites there. 16 sites, it's a study site. Iyake is the most prominent one. Iyake Suspended Lake is the most prominent one among them. On our way now, we first of all reach Isagi Hill. After Isagi Hill, we see Odoyalaro, we see Esiamu Agba, we see Iyake Suspended Rock. If we move up, we see Esekaiku. That's a very sharp edge of the rock. We see Babangida, we see Majakakan, we see Abomafo Iyake. That one is very close to Iyake Lake. It is believed that if somebody puts his leg inside, the person will meet himself inside the Iyake. So that is forbidden. People are forbidden from putting their leg there. So we have 60-30 sites. And in fact, those 60-30 sites during the olden days, those historic sites were shrines worshipped by the indigenes that time. Before it's now been turned into 30 sites. Wow. And up till now, people who have belief, they still request for whatever they want from each of those shrines.
So we have 300 steps to go.
Yes.
Guys, we just started.
is Agi Rock, one of the 16 tourist sites on top of Ado Mountain.
Signs were emerging.
The signs were emerging. The signs were emerging.
Oyetola was studying what was going on.
Of course.
He was seeing it.
He was.
Now, the agreement with Omishore, was Aregbesola part of it?
He wasn't part of it.
Why?
Well, those who spearheaded it were not best of friends with Aregbesola. The likes of Akeredolu, the likes of Fayemi. I think the only person who perhaps relates well with Aregbesola at that point was the late Ajimobi. Those were involved in that, and that is why the Aregbesola people will tell you that Omishore was brought to spite Aregbesola.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
But it seemed Vatsa was not happy with the removal of Buhari as the head of state.
When there's a coup, in Nigeria, let me talk about Nigeria, often and usually it splits the military into competing ideological camps. Those for the coup, those against it. And what you usually see in Nigeria is that every time there's a coup, even the ones that succeeded, there's usually a counter coup or a reaction to it from those people who oppose the coup and who want to reverse it. So a few examples. There was a coup in January 1966. July 1966, there was a counter coup by people who were unhappy with the outcome and effect of that January coup. Then we go to July 1975, there was a coup that overthrew General Gowon. 6 months later, there was another coup by people who were from Gowon's area, who were unhappy at Gowon being overthrown and who were unhappy about the reforms that were undoing Gowon's policies. So similarly, this, again, Babangida came to power in August 1985. 4 months later, there's another alleged coup plot, allegedly by people who were unhappy at Babangida undoing the policies of his predecessor. So to me, this is just Nigerian politics, Nigerian coup 101. When there's a coup, there's usually a reaction and a counter coup.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
You know, Babangida also makes the point that at that point in time, he felt the best option was to negotiate with Dimka
I agree.
at the Radio Nigeria complex.
There's no problem with that.
Because they were civilians.
But you must bring him. You must bring him.
To bring him at that point would have been bloody because Dimka was armed.
Okay.
And he had his men armed.
Was he not armed?
He was armed too.
And what will happen?
Bloodshed.
There will be bloodshed.
But
they had already killed the head of state.
But he didn't want that.
How will he? It's not his decision to want. He had to take an order. He had to take an order.
But his decision paid off, didn't it?
Which decision?
There was no bloodshed.
My friend, they had killed the head of state. They had killed his orderly.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Do you believe General Dante Wellington's death was part of a broader purge or power struggle within the military?
If I understand you correctly, are you asking me whether my father was involved in wanting to lead the country? Or was interested in wanting to lead the country and therefore was jockeying for positions with somebody? Is that what you're driving at?
I learned that your father, General Wellington, led the palace coup that removed General Achiampong. Is that true?
No, you see, this is a story which has been going around. And the people who say these things were not there when it happened. Now, this is the sequence of events.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
I look at this politics. Some see hope, some see despair. What do you see?
We must never despair. We must never, ever give up. Human history is strewn with all sorts of discouraging and debilitating circumstances. But it is them that hope, that win. No matter what the level of difficulties that we confront in our individual lives, in our communities, in our country, we must never, give up hope.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. How do you feel this morning? You heard the Babafemi Ojudu interview, taking us into the life of MKO Abiola as a newspaper proprietor. You can find that story in Babafemi Ojudu's book entitled Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist. The book is available on udarabooks.com. Redeem your mind and you will redeem the land. Say hello to the radio station. 070694 930 00 and 070144 75770. You can also leave messages for me on X, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm also streaming on Edmond Obilo's page on Facebook. We are streaming on Splash FM Facebook page. We are also streaming on Edmond Obilo's page. You know I have a new Facebook page. Yes, I have a new Facebook page. So we are streaming on that page. Just search for Edmond Obilo. I will pop up. I'm wearing a white and blue stripe top with my headset. So that's my new Facebook page. You can come there now. Let me see if I can find you. Facebook, where are you? Facebook is hiding, but I can find it. It can hide, but it can't run away. Yeah. Okay, I'm here. I've seen it. The lines are open. Good morning. Call the radio station. Do not surrender. Build schools of the spirit in your homes. Read, question, and organize. Good morning. Let the farmer know the weight of his vote. Let the student see knowledge as a weapon. Good morning.
Yeah. My name is Kunle Jimba. How are you?
Kunle, good to hear your voice.
Same here. Good job you're doing. I just finished listening to some of your interviews about the Nigerian Civil War and the state politics in Nigeria. Very interesting series. The last I heard last night was that of Brigadier General Lapi Sama. Very inciting, very instructive. In fact, it gave me a new dimension of perception about the state of Nigeria and the politics involved over the years. You're doing a good job, and I think history won't forget all the efforts you're putting into enlightening the younger generation. We've been sold so many lies, honestly. And I listened to that of General Togu also last night around 11 p.m. What a wonderful exposition you've brought us. I think we need to read more so that we get to know more about this country, Nigeria. You're doing a wonderful job. I just called to say hello. Well done and good job.
Thank you. That is Kunle Jimba. Thank you, Kunle, for calling the radio station. The lines are open. 07069493000. Good morning. Hello. Why is it so faint, Bosu? It's loud there. Yes, I can hear you. Good morning. Hello. No, it's so faint. I can't hear her well. I can hear her, but it seems she's so far away. You know. Okay, let's try the other line. A country may export oil, harvest minerals, and sign trade deals, yet remain stagnant if its citizens do not innovate, question, and create. Technology, governance, even culture, these are first conceived in the silent workshop of the brain. You know, sometimes you say it's our custom, it's our tradition. You know, I hear that a lot. That your custom, that your tradition was the idea of one man or one woman who just said, we can do it like this. And he sells the idea, she sells the idea, and the community accepts it. And then you are born into it. And you say, oh, it's our culture, what our fathers left behind. You know, you can also change it with your own idea and say, if our fathers thought like this, we can move this way. Or you can improve on the ideas of our ancestors. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. How do you build your mind? What do you feed your mind? When you wake up in the morning, what are the first things that run through your mind? Do you begin to feed your mind with frustrations? Oh, what will my children eat today? Oh, I need a new job. Oh, my mom is sick. Oh, I can't feed. You have just burdened your mind that morning with the stress of life. At that point, you have not lifted yourself. What about if you asked, what will I do now to make more money? What about if you asked yourself, how do I re-examine what I am doing and see how I can do it better? You know, when you begin to ask these questions, you are now getting involved in reflections. You know, sometimes you say you are busy. You are so busy. You said you've been out since the whole day. You are so busy. By the end of the day, you are broke. So you ask yourself, what did you do with your time? Perhaps you wasted it, or in the name of being busy. Then you begin to readjust. You must begin to raise questions about how you live. Oh, this politician is wicked. This politician has stolen our money. Then you now ask yourself, if I was the politician, what would I do? What will I do? You see, the character of the politician is the collective character of the Nigerian state. Another word for poverty is ignorance. Where there is massive ignorance, the product is massive poverty. So if you say a country is poor, you can also say the country is ignorant. If there are so many universities, many primary schools, and many secondary schools, but it is poverty that surrounds those universities, there is something wrong with the universities, and there are things wrong with the primary school. Because usually, the essence of education, quality education, is to lift people out of poverty. So if you look at UI, University of Ibadan, and you look at the front of UI, you will now know the quality of UI. The quality of every system reflects on the environment. You also look at the quality of the teaching, because the environment will tell you what is going on here. Oh, there is UI here. There is the Polytechnic Ibadan within that same axis. Within that same axis, you have Dominion University, or Dominican University rather, within that same axis. But if you also look at that axis, it's one of the most chaotic axes in the city. That means the education in UI, the education in Dominican University, and the education in Polytechnic is not quality enough to tackle the chaos within that zone. Then you can also broaden the analysis. There are primary schools and secondary schools within those axes. So the quality of your environment talks about the quality of your education system. Talks about the quality of your health system. That chaos you see around there will be reflected in UCH. If UCH is the way it is, perhaps the doctors will have to lift their mind to redeem the hospital. So when a nation is violent, when a nation is poor, when the democracy is rigged, it represents the collective mindset of the people. So when you point the fingers, perhaps one is pointing at you. I hear people talk about leadership. Those who govern are products of the same chaotic environment. They come from the same environment we talk about. So even when they govern and return, they also return to that same environment. If they govern for 8 years and are not able to lift their people, to elevate them, then that leadership is not a redemptive leadership. Redemptive leadership starts from the minds of the citizens. So in the midst of this chaos, those who redeem their mind are those who will now come and tame the chaos and redefine it. And now say that the University of Ibadan, located at the present axis, where you have Agbo, will become the symbol of light within that environment. That is the effect of the knowledge within University of Ibadan will begin to reflect on Agbo communities. There will be security, electricity. The markets there will be advanced. The Agbo shopping complex will take an advanced status. So if you want to know the quality of UI, look at the quality of Agbo and Environ. That's the point I make. If you want to know the effect of Splash FM, look at this environment. Hey, you know, I'm just thinking. I'm just philosophizing. Help me. The lines are open. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Obilo.
Yes, good morning.
This is Mr. Ola. I'm calling from Adebayo in Ibadan. Pertaining to the interview that you granted this morning, I want to speak about it.
Hello. Hello. He's not there. He's not there. Okay, let's see. Let's go on next and see who is right in the radio, man. Hello, good morning. Hello. We are struggling with those phones. Hello, good morning. I can hear.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Okay, you can call my WhatsApp number 080. I mean for those listening abroad. So I'm now ready to listen. If you're listening outside the country, you can call my WhatsApp number. Call on WhatsApp. That is 080-999-18449. I want to hear from the listener, you know, and the systems are not helping. I want to hear the listeners speak. Yeah, before we go for that break. Okay. Hello, good morning. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Stay cool.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hey!
Actually at the Idianyure section of this, and you can see what is going on behind me. Right now, there's going to be an underpass here. This is a thoroughfare. You can't go into Idianyure. If you need to come out into the express, you have to go down to Olomi to come out here. I'm on this road, on the road to time. I'm on this platform, on the platform to fly. I am on this deck, the deck to kick. When we are excited like this, we are excited about the ingredients of today that will make tomorrow sweet. Have come on this road to feel sweet. You want to come on this road? Join me on the Ibadan circular road to feel this good. I like seeing projects. I like seeing government at work. It excites me. If we can do more of this kind of projects, the people will be lifted out of poverty and everything good will come. We are at the Olomi end of the lot 1 of this project, where we have the entry and the exit point. This point is going to be tolled. If you're coming into the circular road, you want to lick the express, Lagos Ibadan expressway, you have to pay your toll there and you come into the expressway. But if you are coming from the express end and you want to come into Olomi, you will have paid your toll at the entry point at the express and you can go easily into Olomi. Unlike before, if you're coming into Olomi axis, this axis of Ibadan, you need to go to the toll gate, go to Iwo Road, and you now come in. I was sharing with you that I've never seen this in my life. I only saw this in a developed world abroad. So, I mean, you can have a view of what we're having here. And if you're going to the Badeku end of it, you go through the underpass and you go to the Badeku end. Thank you. ṣé ọ̀nà yìí ṣó ti ń jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn tún máa wá nílùú sí i àbí.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o oríṣiríṣi èèyàn látàrí rí wọ́n ti ń wọ bí kódà àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ti gbé lẹ́lẹ̀ látàìmọye ọdún tí wọ́n sàn lọ tí wọ́n lọ kálukú ti wọlé wọ́n ti ń wọlé wá torí ọ̀nà.
Let me quickly interpret what she just said. He said most of the villagers have left the village long time ago tó ti fìlú lẹ̀ tipẹ́ wọ́n ti ń wá ní ìlú padà ilẹ̀ wọn ti gbówó sókè.
You offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before.
Join the radio man Edmond Obilo on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
What bloodshed are you waiting for?
I mean, at the Radio Corporation house.
All right, if you surrounded the place, then you hold on. You hold on to the place. You will have surrounded the place. And they will give up.
Dimka eventually escaped.
Of course he escaped. By the time they put the cordon and all that, they allowed Dimka to escape. And I wrote in this book that was a court-martial offense. I gave you an order of what to do, bring the man dead or alive, and you allowed him to escape. I wrote there that it's a court-martial offense.
But he wasn't court-martialed.
Well, they played North versus South with me. Danjuma just waved it with an open hand. And eventually, when Danjuma and Babangida quarreled, it was in the newspaper where he was saying that he would have been court-martialed.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
What was the main cause of the fallout between Aregbesola and Oyetola?
Well, before I came to Osun in 2019, I had written a piece in 2018 after the election. And in that piece, I said clearly that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to carry out some introspection to examine the roles and activities of some members of his inner caucus. Although I didn't mention Aregbesola's name, but I was actually referring to him, that there are some members of his inner caucus who appears not to be on the same page with him. That these persons cost the party undo, and but for some last-minute maneuvers, Osuntu would have gone the same way. So for me, he may not accept it, but I think inordinate ambition was part of what led to the fallout.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
About monitoring its opponents and pro-democracy activists. So I would say at this stage, no, IBB was not paranoid in 1985.
Was Vatsa a Buhari man more than an IBB man?
So here's the thing. Socially, the relationship between Vatsa and Babangida was deeper and longer than, the Vatsa-Buhari relationship. Vatsa and Babangida were really close friends, or best friends. They had been friends for about close to a quarter of a century. You have to remember that before 1985, they had been childhood friends and boyhood school classmates. They went to the same school. They were classmates in school. Then after they left school, they joined the army, enrolled for the army on the same day. They joined the Nigerian Military Training College on the same day. And they were enrolled in the army at the same time. And throughout their career, kind of held rank parity with each other. And the social relationship with them was so close that Babangida was the best man at Vatsa's wedding. So if you look at it that way, Vatsa was definitely more of a Babangida person than a Buhari person.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Years later, or decades later, Rawlings went somewhere to speak to students. Actually, I'm not sure were these students from Nigeria? I may be mistaken, but why do I think they were from Nigeria? Anyhow, he told them there was a general called Odate Wellington, and he went around saying that I did this, that, and the other. So we sprayed him like mosquitoes. Can you imagine? If people knew who he really was, I don't think they'll be hailing him as a hero. Though I don't blame those outside Ghana because the news is filtered. But for those in Ghana, they have absolutely no excuse but cowardice, and their own selfish interests prevent them from saying it exactly as it is.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
I look at this politics. Some see hope, some see despair. What do you see?
We must never despair. We must never, ever give up. Human history is strewn with all sorts of discouraging and debilitating circumstances. But it is them that hope that win. No matter what the level of difficulties that we confront in our individual lives, in our communities, in our country, we must never, give up hope. We shall yet succeed. We shall yet be great. I'm hopeful.
What does hope do to the body?
Well, I am not a scientist, but I know enough to understand that hopelessness, depression, lack of faith generate terrible hormones. They even affect the mental state of individuals and communities. Hopelessness gives way to crime. Hopelessness has been identified as one of the major factors that encourages crime and criminality. And therefore, either as individual or as community, we must never allow ourselves to secrete hormones that will lead us into despair, into hopelessness. What hope does, understanding that the human makeup is not just our physical body, we also have a mental composition. It is the mind that controls most of our activities or inactivity. And therefore, the interface between our mind and our bodies must never be polluted by negative feelings, negative emotions. It must be in such a balance of interface that yet no matter how difficult things are, no matter how discouraging things are, we must always see light. We must always encourage ourselves, to see a brighter day after today. And we must also warn ourselves that even things are okay, even things are doing well, we must never take it for granted. The price of liberty, the writer said, is eternal vigilance. We must always be sure that even when things are right, that we do not abuse, the processes.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Yeah. Always have that hope. How do you feel? called the radio station. I want to hear from you. I said I'm going to take a lot of calls today. I'm not giving up. 07069493000 and 07014475770. Those are the numbers to call. You can also leave a message on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Let me see, LinkedIn. I talk about LinkedIn, but I hardly read messages from LinkedIn. That must be an oversight. So let me go on LinkedIn now. LinkedIn has some quiet listeners. Let me see. I'm on LinkedIn. So the lines are open. Join the discourse. We want to hear from you. Yes, I can see 2 messages here. I hope I'm able to take them. I'm finding it hard to take them. Because when you're streaming, okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Hello?
I can hear you.
This is Rotimi from Adibai. Please, I just want you to understand that African is resilient. All we need is to set our mind on how to make Africa great, as we are the richest continent in the world. Let us make use of that opportunity and move forward. You can do it with some people who have the same mind like you and like me. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see Dr. Ayodeji Akinshaw on LinkedIn. He says, redeeming the mind simply means renewal of the mind. Free it from guilt, shame, and vices. Embrace conscience that regulates mind to get the freedom to face issues of life. That's Dr. Ayodeji Akinshaw on LinkedIn. I can see Emmanuel Ibiroda. I can see him on LinkedIn. Thank you for being there. Okay, let me take this call from here. I just want to listen. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You're doing a good job. My name is Ugo.
Ugo, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, thank you too. You have been doing a good job for over a decade that, I came to this city and, it has become a ritual. Every Saturday, you must clutch your radio. Anyway, you talked about the mind. There's something about the mind, particularly the African mind, as it affects democracy. An average African is not a Democrat. An average African is not. Why? This is our chief dumb thing. We don't like sharing power. We don't like, we don't like bringing other people on board to get the job done. Well, you heard what Fubara said. He said they didn't want to offset the powers that be or that we are or something. It tells you that why in the first place was state of emergency declared in River State when there are other more security concerns in other parts of the state, in the country. So in shaping our minds, like you cited the case of the universities, we need how do you improve the mind of the people when by their education is even affected so that they also wanted to go on strike? You can imagine. People are still being old salaries. How will they focus? You said something very important. When somebody wakes up in the morning, what do you feed your mind with? Is it what I will eat or what I need a good job? But then, in reality, it's not always a life that will feed his mind well. So what I ask, one of the steps is what the government have done now. They've returned history back to the school. Okay, at least we must give Tinubu kudos for that. I'm a part of history. I read history while in school, and that really shaping my mind. I see things differently. I look at things that happened before, how it is happening now, and I can tell probably how it will happen, except one or two factors are tinkered, are not tinkered. So really, we need to improve our minds, and education, to my mind, is key, because if the United Nations are telling you to use about 27% of your national budget on education, let's ask ourselves, since independence to date, what has been the highest amount of budgetary, in terms of percentage, have we allocated to education? If we can take education seriously, in my own view, I think the Nigerian mind, in terms of the people daring, can be well informed and educated, and maybe we would have crossed where we are presently. I just want to appreciate you for the good job you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And when we also talk about education, there is one important aspect of education: self-education. 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 When you educate yourself, you naturally go in search of knowledge. You don't wait for a teacher to say, read this book. You begin to ask questions about your environment. You now sit down, begin to say, how do I solve them? Wealth comes from solving problems. Real wealth, wealth that lifts society, they come from solving problems. As you solve it, somebody pays you for it. That is how wealth comes. Real wealth, the kind of wealth that lifts society. It is from solving problems. And you cannot solve problems without thinking. You don't even need university education to solve the problems around you. It's about the power of the mind. It is never easy, but as you keep thinking, the next man keep thinking, at some point we'll have what we call collective innovation. Bosun brings his innovative spirit, Edmond brings his innovative spirit, Tosin his own spirit. By the time we add it together, we have the collective spirit of the nation. And if that collective is innovative, you now have an innovative nation. A people lift themselves. Hello. The lines are open. Join the dialogue. I came this morning to listen to you. I've come to learn. Good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good to hear your voice.
I appreciate your efforts, sir. I'm happy to tell you that even what you have just said is very interesting. So, and I'm happy to hear that. So, I want to tell you that someone has been discovered to create a solution that can transform this nation to a better nation. So, and just need cooperation. And maybe we are going to especially so as to.
I'm not enjoying that line. It's
Hello?
not clear.
Hello, sir.
I'm not enjoying the line. I tried. It's breaking. And we appreciate the effort you put into making these calls. I can imagine how many times you are even trying to call. I could remember before I came on radio, sometimes I tried to call radio stations. It wasn't easy to connect. So that you keep trying, we celebrate that. Good morning. Hello. You say innovation is not magic. Innovation begins with habits. Curiosity over complacency. Innovation is evidence over rumor. Innovation is dialogue over dogma. That's innovation. It's about the mind. Innovation thrives in classrooms that reward questioning, in homes where children are urged to read and to build. Innovation thrives in marketplaces where ideas trade as freely as goods. When a society prizes thinking as much as wealth, it discovers new medicines, designs cleaner energy, and builds industries that no empire can suppress. When a society prizes thinking as much as wealth, it discovers new medicines, designs cleaner energy. Hello.
Good morning, Eddie below. This is Mazi from Germany.
Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, my good friend, Saturday is always, this is where I worship every Saturday. Nation rises, human spirit. I believe what we have in Africa, mostly Nigeria, where we are from, is the value system. Edmond, when the citizens have various different value systems, I think that is a problem to any nation. Here in Germany, after the Second World War, they came together and they built up their nation because they have, one value system. Even when Germany was divided into two, East and West, they later, after 40 years, they came together because they knew that there are one people with one voice and one value system. Look at what happened in Japan too. After the Second World War, they rebuilt Japan because they have one value system. I'm not talking about different languages or different ethnic groups. You can have different ethnic groups in a country, yet they have one value system. Look at what happened in Nepal. Nepal, they have different ethnic languages or ethnicities, but they have one value system. That's why they were able to chase out corrupt politicians. In Nigeria today, what is our value system? What is our core value system? You see the North behaving differently. You see the South, you see Yorubas, Igbos, everybody believing on his own, going his own different ways. And you cannot build a nation in this way. Every country has different dialect, different ethnicities, but what is most important thing to building a nation is value system. Edmond, what is our value system in Nigeria? Good day from Germany. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for joining the discourse. Thank you. Because we've also discovered we have a lot of foreign listeners or listeners listening from outside the country. They are not foreign. Yeah, they are Nigerians, and their voices need to be heard. So that is why I'm offering this line. So if you're listening outside the country, you can call my WhatsApp number. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Obina, calling from Salvation Army.
Obina from Salvation Army. Okay, make your point.
I want to use this medium. I'm not selfish, and I can't easily forget so many things. And I want to use this medium and to thank this governor for your state. He's a great governor, and for the good deed that he's doing, God will continue to bless him. And I think he's the kind of leader that we need here in Nigeria. And so that's my greeting goes to him. Exactly, that's what I want to. And again, we should all should examine other country, because here in Nigeria, we don't have any creativities here. If you also see Nigeria here, what are we doing? And the people cannot the people roaming around, going to different churches with no good things. I don't know how I will put it, but creativity is very good for our youth to examine with. China is doing different kind of things in this, even doing so many things that we cannot do. So we have to learn from them. So that's my own suggestion to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have another call here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Edmund.
Yes, good morning.
Good to hear from you, hear your voice this morning. It's been ages I've been trying to see how I can contribute to the program. This is Adewumi speaking from England.
Happy to hear your voice.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I think I've been with you since 2008, right from Premier Hotel up to this moment. But I've always been a regular listener of your program, Sport Bank and the rest of them, up to this moment. And the problem is, I just want to say this. Nigeria, we don't have a problem of a leader. The problem we have is a follower. If you go around the city of, let me just say Ibadan, because I grew up in Ibadan, you find out that if three people start together and say, let's carry out this, let me just say this, something, there will be a move among those three that will probably sell out that information to someone and say, this is what I want to do. So everybody's just running about, see what I can get from the politicians, see what I can get and better my own life and just let it go. So until we understand the fact that all we need to do is to come together and make our country great. Excuse me, sir, we are not going anywhere. I've not seen anything better. I mean, I'm close to 40 years. I've not seen anything better. I mean, I can tell you from 1999, I've been following it. Everything is just deteriorating. I live very close to the barracks when I was younger. And every now and then we do have proper electricity and, you know, since 1999, it's been going down. Nothing has changed. And it's not the problem of the leaders, it's the followers. It's not the problem of the leaders. Are we saying the president is not giving the state what they are supposed to give the state? Are we saying the state are not giving what they are supposed to give to the local government, they are not giving to them? But what is happening in the rural politics, an individual, what is being given to, okay, go and test your environment, go and do this to your environment. Are they doing it? That's our problem.
Thank you.
I just want to give a bit on knowledge this morning. Thank you very much, Mr. Edmund.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He called from England. I'm on LinkedIn. I can see Ibrahim Abdul Kadir on LinkedIn. Good morning to you. Afolari Bolaji is on LinkedIn. He says the state of the mind defines our possibilities. A deprived mind can only bet chaos. A redeemed mind will, however, produce the sane society. That is Afolari Bolaji on LinkedIn. Victor Adewumi is on LinkedIn. He says Nigeria is a dysfunctional society. When societies dysfunction, the fault really lies solely with education and solely with adults. Education provides the blueprint, but adults decide whether that blueprint becomes a building or an abandoned plan. Victor Adewumi says ultimately, sustainable reform requires bridging the two, strengthening education systems while cultivating a culture where adults remain learners. Interesting. I like this. Where adults remain learners. Yes, you must continuously learn. It says where adult remains learners, role models, and active reinforcers of societal values. Without that synthesis, dysfunction becomes inevitable. With it, societies can continually regenerate and thrive. Thank you for joining the discourse. I'm enjoying the comments coming here. Are you on LinkedIn? I can see Sam Olani. We are here, Radio Man. I have redeemed my mind. And thanks for the class of today. Sam Olani. That's some legend, Baba. He's on LinkedIn too. I saw him on X this morning. You can see some legend is everywhere. If I go on YouTube now, I'll find him. Yeah, some legend, Baba. Thank you for always being there. I hope you started reading some of those books. Some legend, Baba has bought a lot of books. I hope they've sent the books to him. So that's, you begin to read the books. Because what I also notice is that some of us buy the books, but we don't read them. So the books are just in your house as props. When you buy the books, you read them. Try and read them. You don't need to finish the book. You can start with just a page, read a page. You know, sometimes when I pick up a new book, I just open it. I start reading from where I opened. It might be page 100. I'll just start reading from there. You know, but at that point, I would test the author, how the author writes, the story he tells. Before you know, I will now go and look at the content. You know, I read a book systematically. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Radio Man.
I greet you.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so happy that I'm able to get through. Right. Without wasting much time, I know a lot of people have spoken. I just want to see what our main problem in Africa and especially in Nigeria is. I know the problem, we can continue to talk about it now till eternity. But the solution is what I'm really after. And you've spoken so well about the innovative mind. Our people mindset is wounded, I wouldn't say it's buried by now. Right, I'll tell you my experience. Just very little experience of when I encounter people from Africa. And when I hear what he said, oh, my country is really bad. Is it this? Is this that? So what do you do? What you personally do to your own little community? And I'll give you a very typical example. I do teach, and some of our people, they wouldn't come to class, online class. Instead, they will, do whatever they want to do, chase money. So when I had a one-to-one encounter with this particular student, and I asked, what is happening? Oh, your sister, we have to chase money now. It's not that easy. And I said, okay. So anyway, our conversation led to where you from? What do you think is the problem? Oh, my African people, they just want to give back, continue to give back. Okay. Now that you know, you've been exposed, you've come, traveled, what do you tell the people in the village about childbirth control? Now you see how our mindset can change from how we used to do things and believing that it's not possible. It is actually possible. But that innovative mindset is very, very key. But, Radio Man, do you know what amazed me most? Let's say people in the village haven't seen the innovative ideas. What about people that have traveled out of the village, that have been to the city, they've traveled abroad? What do they bring? We can all be abroad enjoying all the basic infrastructure without praying when I'm going on the road. to say, oh God, please play hands on the driver. There should be no, because the road is small. The driver is obeying the rules. The road itself is well tarred. The light is there. You can drive in the middle of the night without even, and if you drink, don't drive. And if you disobey the rules, you know the fine waiting for you. There is nothing like, oh, my dad is the friend of the Inspector General or the this and this. So that mindset needs to change. But how are we going to change this mindset is what is very, very difficult. Because I can tell you, even if within my own household, they want the Nigerian problem to be solved by an angel without doing their own part, without listening to a program like this. So I don't know. That is one thing I don't know how this is going to happen when it comes to our mindset.
Thank you.
One person is saying everything, you are doing your own part. But what happened to the rest of us? Do we just listen to it for listening's sake, or do we take it on board and use it to change the way we do things? Thank you for what you do. And I wish, and I hope Nigerians will reset their mindset one day and look at how we can all build our own little community. Because it all starts from the community.
Thank you. All right. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is
at the top. You can see him from Oyo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He's taking us up. This is the first gate, the gate into the rocks. You know, we have different rocks here, and Iyake Lake is at the top of one of the rocks. Let's go.
The place has over 200 steps. It has over 200 steps.
300 steps?
Yes. And in fact, we have about 16 sites there. 16 sites, 30 sites. That Iyake is the most prominent one. Iyake Suspended Lake is the most prominent one among them. On our way now, we first of all reach Isagi Hill. After Isagi Hill, we see Odoyalaro, we see Esiamu Agba, we see Iyake Suspended Rock. If we move up, we see Esekaniku. That's a very sharp edge of the rock. We see Obebanji Jira, we see Majekankan, we see Agbonafo Iyake. That one is very close to Iyake Lake. It is believed that if somebody puts his leg inside, the person will meet himself inside the Iyake. So that is forbidden. People are forbidden from putting their leg there. So we have 60-30 sites. And in fact, those 60-30 sites during the olden days, those 60-30 sites were shrines worshipped by the indigenes that time. Before it's now been turned into 30 sites. Wow. And up till now, people who have belief, they still request for whatever they want from each of those shrines.
So we have 300 steps to go.
Yes.
Oh. Guys, we've just started.
is Agi Rock, one of the 16 tourist sites on top of Ado Mountain. This rock is known for fertility and productivity. Mostly, it gives children for those who believe in it. Those who want children, they come from all nooks and crannies to come and worship it, to come and make their request, most especially for children. And children that are born under the influence of this rock, they bring the children when the Yake festival is being celebrated in November to appreciate him. And this thing is worshipped. Part of what they used to worship it, Eko, no Eko, the corn meal, the solid corn meal, Egusi, that is the local melon, cock, akuko, all those things. Then white cloth are tied around it. Now, when you want new clothes, when it's no longer in need of the old clothes, maybe you feel that the old clothes is dirty or you are torn, you will remove it by itself. And maybe that is what he has just done. He's now requesting for new clothes. So I believe new clothes will soon be brought to it, to wrap it.
So you wrap the new clothes around
it.
And
White.
It must be white.
It must be white. It must be white.
So why this line?
This is like a sphere of influence. Maybe that somebody should not move beyond this line.
This line.
And that somebody should not step beyond this line.
And if somebody steps beyond the line and hug the rock and hold the rock,
I think somebody can step, maybe, but the person should not wear shoes or slippers.
All right.
So now it's just to maintain purity
of
it. Just to maintain purity of it.
What did you call the rock again?
This is Isagi Rock.
Isagi Rock.
It's one of the 60 shrines or 60 tourist sites on top of this Ado Mountain.
So this is the first shrine?
Yes.
We're actually at the beginning of the lot 1 of the first section of the circular road. Like I said earlier, the first section is about 32 kilometers span. So this is actually constructed by Cranebrook Limited. And I'm saying, if you look at what is here, if you look at to my left, you see the UTech University. And if you look to my right, you see another industry around. And you can have a view of the communication gadgets that are also power light around this axis. If you're coming into the city of Ibadan, you're coming to the light that His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde has actually created for the good people of Oyo State. So let's take the journey together. This is the beginning of the first phase of the circular road.
This is the Ibadan-Lagos road, end of the circular road. From here, your exit, the main exit from here is the Ibadan-Ife road. So if you are coming from Lagos and you are going to Ife, you have no business again with the city of Ibadan. You cut off Iwo Road, and here you come out at the Badeku end. And that takes you straight to Osun State, Ondo State from this end. I can talk about the quality of the work. It is clear for you to see. Perhaps Seyi Makinde can turn this bridge to a tourism attraction. You can't see how to open up a city. For a long time, Ibadan needed a new project that could open it up to a new level of development. At some point, Ibadan was expanding, but it was shrinking, because the infrastructure base was not expanding with the population. With this project, you have opened up the city. So what will happen? A new Ibadan city will begin to emerge on the corners of this road. That is development.
What Edmond said, that the city of Ibadan, that you don't have any business if you're going to Ilesha, Ife, Ondo, you don't have any business to come into the city of Ibadan again. What you need to do
Yeah, I just want to hear from you. That's what I came to do today. To drop the topic and hear from you. To even test the ideas I put on radio. I just want feedback. I need feedback. I need calls. So the lines are open. Alaji Bolani will pick Baba's call. Baba is here. Yes, Baba, you are special.
What you brought in this morning is a food for thought for all Nigerians. During the Civil War, you brought a slogan from the name of the head of state, go on.
Baba, your radio set too. Your radio set. Your radio set is too loud.
I see. Now.
All right, I can hear you.
Do you know the full meaning of go on?
Go ahead with one Nigeria.
Go on with one Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
They said to keep Nigeria one, the task that must be done. It went straight into people's mind. But what happened? Subsequent military rule, we have slogan of born to rule. Thank God, I'm congratulating the whole Nigerians that the slogan is disappearing. That is, if you are born in the north, you are born to rule. If you are born in the south, you are only born to serve. I'm congratulating you on that orientation is gone by. It's thing of the past. Let me tell you, Edmund, do you know what persecuted Boko Haram? It is because our brothers in the north are becoming more educated and aware. We have more educated Nigerian northerners now. Many of them know what that they have been deceived in the past. And more of them are now coming to the limelight. Thank God. We are all educated in Nigeria today. You cannot brainwash me to follow you. You see, in Ibadan here, during the time of Adiku Kailabu, our fathers all joined the bandwagon Adiku Kailabu. In Nambiazikwe, one way, NCNC, Akapuko, Okwe, that is NCNC, Action Group. We knew how it brought Nigeria, where it brought Nigeria to. Now, Edmund, Boko Haram, they don't believe people should be educated. And that is why they started the problem, killing people. And God Almighty will help us. We will not hear Boko Haram again in the north. They will be completely decimated. Edmund, you have set our minds rolling. Everybody, all Nigeria should think of. That's why I said earlier on that there should be positive thinking. We should think of better for Nigeria. Our brothers in the east, the orientation of this Ipapo something, they should please forget about it and help. Let all work for a strong and prosperous Nigeria. Thank you, Edmund. God bless you.
Thank you for calling the radio station. I can see Philip Edema on X. He says, Edmund, for the human spirit to rise, the environment, our worldview, and level of knowledge of evolution is key. We must pursue some elements of decolonization that will pave way for a mindset of progress and development. That is Dr. Philip Edema. Thank you. You know, Edema also taught me international politics. Dr. Philip Edema, he taught me international politics. Thank you for teaching me. Geos Olasubomi says, good morning, Radio Man. Yes, good morning to you, Geos. Sam Legend Baba says, good morning, Radio Man. I'm renewing my mind daily. You see, every day, endeavor to add something new to your life, new knowledge. Think of possibilities, not impossibility. With the state of mind today, no, I am finished. I'm finished. You know, some people, they are crying. Yes, I'm finished. Can you be finished? Because something happened. You are not finished. Arise and shine. You are not finished. Nigeria is not finished. You see, what development goes in a circle? At a point, it was Portugal and Europe advancing the cause of humanity. America came, China is rising. Africa's time is here. I'm not talking about tomorrow. The time has started. This is the age of the African. Redemption has taken off. And before your eyes, things will unfold that will wow your mind. As you wake up tomorrow, take note of the words that the redemption has started and things will happen that will wow your mind. It will bring progress to your home. It will bring love to society. Our education system will be lifted. The mind is also a moral compass. A people who think critically will not be easily divided by tribe or bribed by corrupt leaders. They will design institutions that endure because they understand that justice is a structure of reason as well as of law. Every citizen carries a fragment of the state within. That means the character of Nigerian state is within you. You can't run away from it. You cannot absorb yourself of what Nigeria has become. Every citizen carries a fragment of the state within. Each solved problem, each fresh idea, each refusal to be intellectually idle adds to the nation's momentum. If Nigeria is moving forward, it is the collective movement of its people in a forward direction. Every citizen carries a fragment of the state within. Leaders can draft policies, but only an alert, educated population can turn policy into transformation. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. Feed your mind with knowledge. Sharpen your mind with debate. Free your mind from fear. Everything good will come. It will come because you want it and you aspire to get it. The collective aspiration of the people in a progressive direction is the progress of the state. Mind you, the people cannot always move in a direction. But the direction the majority moves is the direction of the state. If you say Nigeria is corrupt, some element of corruption is in you that have added to that bulk of corruption. If it is not within you, then you are among those who have redeemed yourself. If you can resist corruption, you have redeemed your mind. So in you, I find the light into the future. If you can remove pleasures that demean the spark of the mind, you have redeemed yourself. Feed your mind with knowledge. Sharpen your mind with debate. Free your mind from fear. Then the economy will innovate. Politics will refine itself, and the nation will move, not by chance, but by the deliberate power of collective intelligence. The collective intelligence of the land. By the deliberate power of collective intelligence. A country is the sum of the thinking of its people. Let the mind be bold, and the state will follow. Let the mind be bold, and the state will follow. Redeem your mind, and you will redeem the land. Before nations rise, the human spirit must rise. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Next Saturday is another time. The Radio Man is here. I am Edmondo Pillow. The next program is Ijoba Tiwa with Sheun Special. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Stay tuned.